Hi, I wanted to show you some basic scripting capabilities of Outlander. So I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I have the Outlander folder opened, and here we have the scripts folder. So all of your scripts need to be put in this folder. And let's create a new script here, and I'm going to call it collect.cmd. And I'm going to type in one command here, echo hello world, save that, and I'm going to come back to Outlander that I have running here, and I'm going to type period and then collect, and that is the name of the file that I just created there. So when I type this, we'll see we're starting the encrypt collect at this time. It echoes that text, and then the script completed. So a couple other commands we can use here, as we can say pause and done, and that will pause the script for that amount of time. I pressed the arrow key, the up arrow key, and that will automatically give me the command I just typed, and then I can hit enter again. So now we'll do hello world, pause for 2 seconds, and now we're done. So another thing that is helpful when you're writing scripts is you can get some debug information. So I'm going to do debug 5, and that's going to show us some additional information that is happening in the script. So here this shows the debug level on line 1, the echoing text, and on line 3 it's pausing for the 2 seconds and then done. So we can create loops essentially in our script by using what we call labels. So you can create a label just by typing some text and then having a colon. And inside there, inside, after the label, you can type some additional commands. So I'm going to do loop, pause for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to do go to start. And what this will do is it'll print out loop, pause for 2 seconds, and this go to start will jump back to the label that you give it. So when we run this, collect, we do loop, pause for 2 seconds, and now we have essentially this never-ending script. So when you have a script running that's never-ending, to stop it, you can click on the script name and hit abort. You also see some other commands here. So here's the debug levels. So this would tell you what those debug levels mean. You can also do these vars. So I'm going to pause the script here. So that means it'll quit going. And we can look at the variables that are available. And right now, we just have this arc count variable and the script name variable. And let's abort this here. Another option is you have the script running. There is a command, script command, script abort, and you can abort it that way. So let's make this script do something a little more interesting than just echoing text. So there's another command called put, and put will send additional actions to so far all these commands are not actually sending commands to the game itself. Using put, you can send commands to the game. So I'm going to put collect rocks. So now when we do collect, it will collect the rocks, because I did a pause 2, then the script engine will automatically wait until the round time is finished, and then it will continue on to the next line of commands. So you can see that we're continuing to go here. And this will just continue to go on forever, which is a bad idea. You don't want your scripts to be running forever, so you don't fall asleep and get script checked, unless you're in the fallen. So this isn't that great of a script, because here you can see we're collecting all these piles of rocks, and we need to also be kicking those rocks afterwards. So we can put in another command here, put kick rock, and now that should be, you know, cleaning up after ourselves after that. Let's see, that did that right for us. So now it kicked the rocks and collecting more. So we'll go ahead and abort this. And I'm going to use another command here called send. And so I can use send on the command line there, and it will automatically send that command after runtime completes. So another option we have here is, notice we're using this rocks. So we can provide variables to our script, and you can reference them using percentage. So I can do %1, and that will represent the first variable that gets passed in to our script. So we can do collect rock, and this variable here will automatically get populated in this %1. And if I wanted to pass in a variable that was more than one name, or had a space in its name, then I need to put that in parentheses. So for instance, if you're passing in a variable like a weapon name or something like that. So let's take this out here and take out these variables, and we can see that. So we can do echo %1 and do collect rock, and it shows rock, and we'll do this echo %2, and so we got rock 1 and 2. I'm going to set a pause here, so then we can look at the script variables. So when we do this, I'll pause this and do vars. You can see 1 is rock, 2 is 2, 0 is both all the variables all together. The arg count is 2, and then we still have the script name. So if I wanted to, I could echo out the script name, echo arg count, and we get all that information there. So let's show you the with the parentheses. So 2, 3, and if we do the show vars, you can see that 2, 3 ended up in the number 2 argument there. So if we go back to our script that we had to collect rocks, we can make this more general collection script. So now this will collect whatever we pass it. So now we can do collect rock, and now this will be collecting those rocks, and so now it's a little more generic. All right. So in addition to those variables passed in, you can create your own variables. So we can do var item %1, and we'll echo that, echo item, and I'm going to use a new command just called exit, and exit will just immediately exit the script. So now when I do collect rock, this is setting a variable named item to rock, and now down here I can reference that instead of referencing that input directly. In addition to these local script variables, we also have global variables. So I'm going to go into the preferences in Outlander, and then we have this variables tab, and everything listed in here is a global variable. So for instance, we have variables for the skills that you're learning, and your character name, your health bar percentages, the game time, and lots of different things. So we can reference those in our script as well. So one of those was character name, and you reference global variables with the $sign. So if we run this script again, now you can see it printed out the name of my character here. You can also create global variables inside of a script. So the way you do that is with the put command as well. I should say you actually use the var command, but when you're using it with a script, you have to first use it in conjunction with the put command. So if I wanted to create a global variable, I can in the game, in Outlander, I can type var testing 1, 2, and that will automatically create a global variable. So if we scroll down here, oh, looks like that's not refreshing here. But we can do echo testing, and it shows the 1, 2. So, and we should be able to also do echo testing here, running the script, and we got the 1, 2. So we can change that by doing put var testing 3, 4, and then we'll echo the value of that testing afterwards. And we can do it from straight from here as well. And so those global variables will persist between scripts, and when you save your configuration files by, or save your profile by clicking File, Save Profile, or Command S, then those variables will get saved to disk and persist between closing and opening Outlander. So that's just a very basic intro to some of the scripting capabilities. One thing I wanted to add was, so we have this debug, and that's showing all this debug information. When you are comfortable with your script and you think that it is ready to go, move these all out. You can also comment out lines using the pound character. So now when I run this script, it won't show. It's just going to skip over that first line, and you won't have that debug information anymore, and it'll be just the clean script that you have. So that's a basic intro to scripting, and we'll do some other videos with some more of the advanced features of scripting.